Hello, welcome to today's session. And today we're going to be continuing 3D modeling basics with AutoCAD. For today, we're going to be doing some little bit of Boolean operations. Yeah, we'll be working with the union command. Yes, we'll be working with the union command, and we'll be working with intersect and then subtract. So we'll be working with Boolean, intersect, and subtract today. So for that, without further ado, yeah, solid union, solid subtract, and solid intersect. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, for this operation, we'll work with some primitives. Well, you can just create them because already you know how to create them yourself. So we're going to be working with a sphere and a box. Yeah, a sphere and a box. So that will be for our practicals. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please use the chat box. Use the chat box if you can hear me. Chizzy, John Paul, Namonso, Celestine, Edidion. If you can hear me, please use the chat box. Okay, they can all hear me. Now to get started, I'll just create a box, but I will start with the rectangular tool and just make a box of it's a box actually, so all sides will be equal. Let me do it this way. Okay. No, I'll use this. I'll use this one. Start here. Make it 5 or 20. No, 50. 50. And of course, I will have to extrude it, right? To make it a box, to make it 3D. Because currently it's a 2D rectangle. It's not even a surface. This is just a 2D rectangle. If you go to all views, of course, it's currently a conceptual. If I go to hidden, the same thing. If I go to X-ray, also the same thing. So let's just leave it here, or let's leave it at this 2D wireframe first of all, and try to make it a box. So for that, we can use the press pull tool, but that's all we're going to be using. Now we're just going to be using the extrude tool. So I'm going to highlight the line, enter, and then make it 50. The volume there, the height, as you can say, it's 50. Now we have this box already. Now for our next one, we need to make sure our 3D snap is turned on. Yes, this 3D snap should be turned on, and we make sure we have the vertex, so we can snap to vertices. Okay, now I'm not going to select nearest. I'm just going to do this and this for now. So we have just these 3 snaps turned on for 3D. Remember, we have the 2D snap. It's different from what I just did. 2D snap is different from the 3D snap, so note that. Okay, now I need a sphere. For this, we can't use any other tool for now, so I'm just going to be using this sphere tool, like so, and then I'll just snap to this area, this vertex. So let's go, and I'll make it 25. So it should be yes. Okay, now let's go and talk about what we're supposed to be talking about today. So I'll come over here and try to duplicate this. I just created this, and I'm going to be making it what we have here. We have 1, 2, 3. I'll be talking about this 3 in a moment. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to copy this. CO. Then to use your shortcuts, it saves lives. Okay, now I'll just pick from this snap points. You know, it's 3D, so you will see the midpoint, the end points popping up. For the record, whenever you see a triangle, know that's an indication of a midpoint. So you know there's a midpoint there. If you see a square, you know there's an end point. If it's something that looks like a rectangle, that usually comes up when you're working on 2D. Know that that's like a midpoint between 2 endpoints. Yes, and with that you can further edit the geometry. So I'm just going to quickly snap to the endpoint. Yes, like so. and turn on my orthogonal restriction. This, turn it on, you can use the F8. You already know that, so it's no big deal. We'll drop one and drop another. So we have 1, 2, 3 to talk about. Yeah. Okay, so now we have that like so, and we have them here. Over here, they're looking like something else. So I'm just going to switch my visualization to something else, the visual style, change it to something else and make it conceptual. Yeah. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay, now once it's been switched to conceptual, I just want to turn this off if you don't mind. I'll go to my visualize tab and then turn my UCS icon. I'll turn it off. I don't want to see it. Down. Oh, great. View rather, not visualize, sorry. And turn that off. Okay, it's been turned off. I need space. So I'm going to turn this off also. I don't need it. I don't need anything here. Okay, now we're going to be using the first tool we're going to be working with is the solid union. Yes. So what's a new union? The coming together of two or more entities. So this is like bringing two things. Okay, like most of you have said, marriage. Marriage is a union, yeah? Okay, it's a blessed and sacred union. So now we're talking about the union of these two models. Yeah, we have two solids. And how would you know they are solid? Of course, you just saw me creating them, but let me confirm it. So I will come here and check X-ray. You see that it's filled all through. Aside that, I can check if it's a solid. So there is a tool here that will help me check if it's a solid. That. No, not convert to solid. I need check. Interfere. I can't find my check. There's a tool that was supposed to help me check if it's a solid, but I can't find it right now. Maybe I'll do that later. Solid check, yeah? Interval of solid one. Okay. It's okay. That's a solid. That's a 3D solid. You see, if I move around this now, you see 3D solid. I come here. You see 3D solid. If I had a surface, let's say there is a line somewhere around. Where's my surface moving this way? I have a big issue now. Okay, so just Ctrl Z. Okay, I'll do that, and then let me draw a line and extrude it. I'll press pull it rather not extrude because you cannot extrude a line. Let me press pull this line. By the way, I saw some of the assignments you did, and I like the way you explain what you are explaining. Okay, now so if I hover around it, see there surface extrusion. Hope you saw what just happened. Surface extrusion, and this is a 3D solid. So you've seen the difference. Now I'm going to delete this because we don't need it. Obviously, we don't need it. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Now let's continue. I'm going to drag this a little bit this way. Okay, so we have that. Now to do a solid union, and the importance of actually creating solid unions is that, okay, when you're creating models, there are times you would need to render these models. Yes, when I say render, add some colors and make it look realistic, make it look nice, make it look fine. When you're trying to render solids, if they are not united and they are supposed to be united, you see some parts that are segregated. Like you see this part here, this joining here, it would be so obvious that this is it would be so obvious that these are two entities and they are not united, like they are not together, and it will be very obvious. People will see it, they will notice it. So that's one of the advantages of actually applying solid union to your models if you want them to be united. So you don't just render it. Even if they are both of same color, you will still notice the difference. But if you do a solid union in AutoCAD and then you render it, it will come out almost perfect. Yeah. Okay, now let's do a solid union. So it's quite easy. Just click on the solid union tool, as we have guessed, and then select whatever you want to. Yeah, that's it. And enter. Once you do that, you have what you need. Hope you can see now. For now, like you see here, there's this extra part. You see this part inside. Can you see it? If you can see it, type scene. You can see it, type scene. And you don't have that here anymore because we just united it. I will just undo that and go to the X-ray mode so you can see what I'm doing in real time. I'll just come here, change this from conceptual to X-ray. And then, okay, it's still in union state, so I'm going to remove that. Control Z. Okay, so I'm going to select them one by one to check. Okay, no problem. I'm trying to repeat it. So now to do a solid union to this object, see now, let me show you something. X-ray. You see there are two entities. So you see this extra part there, the part that comes from the joining of these two objects. This part, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So I'll undo to take it back to that position. And then we need to union this, we need to unite it. Let me speak normal English and not AutoCAD English. We need to unite these two together. Yes, we need to unite it. And to unite it, we need a tool, a solid editing tool, and that will be the solid union tool. So with solid union tool, we're going to make these two 3D models, we'll make them one. Yes, and two shall become one. Yes, these two now will become one. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a joining. Yes, a joining. Okay, now we're going to do the solid union to this. And I'm going to use the solid union tool and select what I want to join. In this case, this, and then this. And then I enter. Like so. We have two entities becoming one right in front of you. You're experiencing history. Yes, this is like we're making great history right here. So you've seen that. If I select any of these, if I just select this and you see both of them are selected because now 2 is 1. Yes. 2 now. Okay, so that's it for union. I hope you understand this. Please, if you understand that or if you understood it, please type understood using the chat box while we go over to the next one and we try to talk about how to use the next tool, which is this one right here. Okay, so solid subtracts. Now we're going to be subtracting some things. Yes, we're going to be subtracting something. Now, for the subtract, if you want to take away a portion of this solid from this solid, that's where you use a subtract. Or you want to take away a portion of this solid from this solid, that's where you use a subtract. I don't know if you understand me. Subtract is when you want to take a portion of one solid from another. Yes, you want to take a portion of something and you want to use another object as, let's say you're making a mold, yeah? Or, okay, I don't know, how many of us played with pottery while we were younger. You mold something and sometimes you want to make this sharp cut. Then you have this shape ready for you. And then you place the shape on this sharp cut and then you cut it through and then you take it out and then it forms that shape around the object or the potting. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do here. But this time we're not using any shape, we're not using any body, we're just using two solids. Do you understand what I just explained? Do you understand? Please use the chat box. Please use the chat box. Okay, for John Paul now. Okay, let me rephrase this. You know, you must have seen where people are making things like chin chin or any of those snacks or biscuits and all, that you need to use shapes, you know, to cut out from the dough. And then, you know, I don't know if you've seen any of those. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to use one of these entities to take away a shape from the other one. Do you understand? I will explain it practically, but I need you to understand the concept. Yes, it's subtract. We're trying to subtract one portion of the first object from the mass of the second object. Yes, this is the whole second object, yeah? But we want to use this shape to cut out this portion now you're seeing here. I want to cut out this portion like so. But I need something that will have that particular shape to cut out what I want to cut out from this entire object. Do you understand, John Paul? Is it clear now? Okay, now let's get started. To do that, you just need to subtract. You select your first object, press enter, and then you select the second object. Go enter. Now see what happened. In this case, it did the subtract, and then we have it like so. You can't see clearly this way. Let me go over to realistic. Okay, so you see, with the box, we did cut out this shape. Okay, like so. Now I'll make an undo. And there are concepts behind these things you need to understand. First of all, always remember, for the subtract, you select the object you want to keep first. For the subtract, you select the object you want to keep first. Always remember that. The object you want to keep comes first, while the object with which you're cutting it comes second. Okay, now let's do it again. And this time I want to keep the box. So I'll just go to subtract. And yeah, I select object I want to keep. Enter, and I select this object and I enter. So you see, just did that. Wow, I like the shade. It looks so nice. Okay, I like this. Somebody might want to copy this for, you know, a logo. It looks like a logo. I mean, this only this part. Yeah, this part right here. Looks like a logo. Okay. So, do you understand what I just did? Please, does anybody understand what I just did? Okay. Now the next one is intersect. Of course, most of us here know the meaning of intersection, right? Can somebody define, not really define what you understand, just type, use the chat box. Use the chat box, intersect. Intersect, use the chat box. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'll resume mine. Okay, yeah. What's your more things? Meet or cross? Okay, yes. I like that one, the cross. Thank you. That's what I want to talk about, because meet can be just two endpoints and then it meets there. But the cross parts, that's like what I'm interested in. That intersection. Yes. The crossing of two or more entities. Yeah. Okay, now that's what we're going to be doing here. You see, if you notice, this inside the center mass, this one right here, where you have this coming through from this point and then going up like so straight and then that way, that is the intersection point of these two entities or these two solid or these two mass. Get? So that is the intersection point. Now with the intersection tool, what it does is that it takes away these two mass and keeps only that small portion. That small portion, the intersection point, that's where it keeps for you to use. So in this case, we're going to be using the intersection tool to see what we just explained. Now I'm going to select the intersection, solid intersect, and then select objects. I go this way, I go this way, and enter. So you see, what is left now is this. This thing looks so cool. Wow, I like it. I don't know who likes it. Don't like it though. I like it. Okay, so we have that. Do you understand what just happened? Do you understand what just happened? It's very straightforward and simple. I just wanted today's class to be, as simple as it can be. Yes, Chizzy understands what happened. And now we're going to be talking about another one. I think what we have there is interfere, and then we have slice, and then we have ticking. Okay, let's start with ticking. I'm not sure I'm going to cover interfere for now because I need some other thing we've not covered to talk about interfere. So let's start with ticking for now. For ticking, I'm going to create a surface. Yes, for ticking, I'm going to create a surface. To create a surface, I'll just create a line, draw a line. So, and then press pull this line. Of course, there are many ways to create a surface. You can use the surface editing or surface modeling. And now I do this. Enter. Now you see this is a surface. Now, the difference between a solid and a surface, the simplest difference between a solid and a surface. No, I won't say that. Who and who they? Okay, yes. We have them here. Yes. Okay, yes, of course I will say it. Anybody that wants to use it can use it, but I know what I said and you know what you said also. The simplest definition, the simplest difference between a solid and a surface is just thickness. Yes, the thickness. It doesn't matter. Jean-Paul, don't worry, it doesn't matter. I've already seen the one I want, the ones that were uploaded, about 3 of them, and they're exceptional. Trust me, I liked what you guys did there. So it doesn't matter if everybody has done theirs. The tax is for your own development and not for me. Of course, I'll keep learning more, but these tax help you to. I know most of you will say, this tax is very simple, but I'm looking for a difference in that simplicity. Somebody that will be very, very different with it. And I'm already seeing some people that are very, very different. Okay, now, like I said, the difference between a solid and a surface is thickness. The last time I said the difference between a solid and a surface is line and polyline. This time I'm saying the difference between a solid and a surface is thickness. They are all correct. Okay, now, this is a surface, of course, and you know it was created with a line. Okay, it was created with a line and it's a surface. Now, to make this a solid, this is how you can go about it. You can either use a press tool to do this and then maybe, that won't work. But the other way you can do, let's see this. Yes, this would work. Enter. Yes, that's it. I meant to say extrude, not press pull. Now that's one way you can do. You can use the extrude tool to just select the surface and then enter and then make it a solid, like so, like you may have just seen. Oh, this thing is looking like a toilet space. Yes, it's looking like a toilet space where you have the reservoir and then the WC. Of course, we can sculpt this and make it look like a WC. Yeah, but that's not what we're doing today. Okay, so now we've just talked about how to convert a surface to a solid. Now that is it. Now the next, the other way you can convert a surface to a solid is simply by adding thickness to it, which is this. Just select it, enter, and then input the thickness you want to apply to this surface. In this case, I'm just going to be using 15. And there you go, you have it. Your surface has been converted to a solid. Do you understand? It's quite very simple and straightforward. It's very simple and straightforward. Very, very simple and straightforward. Do you understand? Jean Paul, Cheesy, Namonso, and Edidion. Or Edidion, Jean Paul, Cheesy, and Namonso. Do you understand? Okay? We've got Jean Paul, Namonso, yeah. Cheesy. Okay. Okay. Okay, you don't understand the thickness part. Let's do it again. Like I said, the difference between, before now I said the difference between a solid and a surface is line and polyline. That's correct. Now I am saying again that the thickness, the difference between solid and surface is thickness. Yes, as in thickness, like most of you would say. Thickness, yeah. So the difference between a solid and a surface is thickness. And this is how we prove that. Normally, this is a solid. Sorry, this is a surface. You can see the meshes and all that, of course. It's clearly defines that, okay, this is a surface. Now we want to make it a solid. There are two ways. You can just use the extrude tool, select it, enter, and then add a thickness to it to make it, a solid, like so. But that's not what we're going to do now. What we're going to do is use the thickness tool or the thickening tool, yeah? So now we're going to use the thickening tool to add thickness to this particular surface. So I'm going to select this and select the surface, enter, then add a thickness of about 25 units. And we have it like so. Do you understand now? Too easy. I think Cheese is having issues with his network. Okay. No problem. Now we can continue. That's for the thickening. Now the next one is slice. Of course, from the name, you should know what it means. Now, let's say you want to slice something. This one, okay, let's slice this. I want to slice this into two, and I want to slice it from the middle, okay? And I need to cut it, this solid now. I want to cut this solid into two. With the slice tool, I can achieve that almost effortlessly. I'll just come here, select slice, and then I select the object I want to slice, which is this object, and enter it. Now I will need to specify start point of slicing plane. Now, you have to visualize the slicing plane like a surface that is being taken across whatever point you're trying to slice. So now I want to slice this, and I want to slice it from the midpoint of this line down to this point here. Down to this point here. So it will be divided into two parts. And this one will stay here, and this other one will stay here. So now, if I select this point and this point, like so, all you need to view or imagine is that from this point upwards, there is a slicing surface, yes, like a knife that cuts across it to make sure that the slice is successful. So that's what we're trying to do now. So after selecting the first point, just select the second point, and it will prompt you to ask you, okay, which part do you want to keep? So now select the second point. Now you say specify a point on desired side. If you look at the command line, it is saying specify a point on the desired side, like the side you want to slice. Now you see another option there, keep both sides. In this case, let me specify this point. This is my desired part, and the other one is off. Did you see that? Do you understand that? Is it simple? Is it cumbersome? Is it complex? Please use the chat box. Use the chat box. Is it simple? Is it complex? Okay, understood. Okay, now there's another option there. So we're going to explore that option. There's another option there. So we're going to explore that option. Now I'm just going to make an undo. So we have our object back. Because I like this part. That's why I want to make the second option, actually. So I am going to do the slice. I select the object, enter, and I select my cutting edge or whatever, and then drop it there. And now it's asking me select the point on desired side or keep both sides. Since I desire this part very much, and some other person might be desiring this part because it's whole and it's complete. Because it's whole and it's complete. So now I'm going to keep both sides. John Paul, I'm coming back for you. I'm going to keep both sides like so. And then you see, once I keep both sides, you now see something like a screen there. And if you hover around this entity, you see now that, okay, we have two separate objects, like so. You see? So that we have two separate objects. John Paul, you said you couldn't even tell what was happening. The video was okay. Now, what happened was that we did a slice, like we just did, and I'm going to repeat it again, just for you to understand this time. I think it will be faster. Okay, now the slice, like the name implies, it cuts whatever solid into two. You get. So now we're going to make a slice. You just select the slice tool from the solid editing tool panel. Select slice tool. Select the object you want to slice. Now you need to select the slicing plane. And this will be my slicing plane 1, 2. And it means that it will cut from this point upwards. So now I'm going to select this as my slicing plane. And then it's asking me now to select a point I desire. In this case, I desire this point. If I don't want to do away with any of the parts, I'll just select the keep both sides and it will keep both of them for me, like so, just like you may have seen just now. Yeah. So that is it. But if, let's say, I want to slice it, but I want one part to go and one part to remain, like let's use this for an example now. Let's use this one. So now I want to slice. I repeat my slice command. I select this object, enter, and I use the midpoint as my slicing plane. Enter. So you see, no, I made a mistake there. I didn't select any of my desired path. So now I'll do it again. Enter, select slicing plane. And now I'm desiring this part. So I'm desiring this part. So I'll just select this one. As you may have seen it, you did a slice and kept the one I wanted it to keep, and then the other one is gone. Do you understand now, John Paul? Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, having said that, let's talk about the next one. The next one I'll be talking about separates. Where are you? Separate, yeah? This is what you would have used to check your solid to know if it's solid or surface. So if I select this, see that entire body editing, blah blah blah. Select the solid, okay. So that is it. So use it to check if it's a solid or a surface. If you select a surface, it will tell you to select a solid. Now, okay, let's go back to that slide. Sorry, separate. For the separate to work, I need to do something. I need to do a union to two entities that were not supposed to be united, like these two. This is far apart, and I'll select this, and I'll select this, and I'll select union. So now you see, both of them now are together, but you can see both of them are not meeting each other. Let's say you did this by mistake and you've already gone far in your project and you've done so many other things and you cannot undo it to that point where you need to undo whatever mistake you've made here, and you need to actually separate them. That's where the separate tool comes in hand. That's where the separate tool comes in hand. With the separate tool, you can actually separate two objects that were joined together by mistake. Let's say this, or just like this, and then use the separate tool. Of course, you may have seen. Separate solids. Yeah. So now you see they are both separated. Now, do you understand what just happened? Did you see that? Do you understand it? Okay, Chizzy understands. No other person? Does anybody understand what I just did? Okay, okay, okay. Now now watch closely, please. Imagine these two were joined together by mistake. Like you were modeling and you did some things and some other mass or geometry was joined with another one, or united, yeah, with another one, and you're trying to separate it. And maybe you've done so much of work and you don't want to go back with Control Z, undoing your previous actions to the point where you actually join those two together or united those two together. That's where the separate tool comes in. Let's say these two were united like so. Let's do solid union. 1, 2, enter. Now you see both of them are together now. And maybe you've done so many other things like you're editing normal, you were modeling, and you came back now, you want to use this as a single entity, but you notice that, oh, these two are united, like I've used the union command on these two, and I need to undo that. But you cannot use Ctrl Z because it will actually be disastrous. Your previous jobs done will actually be gone. So now what you need to do to separate these two is just to use the separate tool as the end point of the long story. This. Once you select this, you select whatever you want to separate and separate. So you have them like so. Two separate entities once again. Do you understand that now? Okay. Are you still on this call? Okay. Let's continue. Now, this will be like the basics. The rest are extrude face. Of course, we want to extrude a face out of these. Let's say these parts right here. You can use the extrude face command, taper face. We want to create a taper out of the face. Let's do those actually. Go to extrude face. You want to extrude this face, select, enter, and the extrusion. Mm, 15. So that is it. So I actually did an extrude, but I tapered it. So you see what came out. Yeah, so you can just do normally the extrude face. So in this case, let me extrude this face. Come in, this funny looking face, like so. I can pick the extrude face, select the face I want to extrude, enter, and then specify height of extrusion, and just say 15. Enter, and then angle of select angle of taper. I don't want taper, so I just go 0, and then we'll have it like so. Exit. Did you see that? Do you understand it? Did you see that? Do you understand it? Okay. Any other person? That is it for the extrude face. Okay, cheesy, yeah. Okay, my guys are coming along. Okay, now, you know you can also do that here now. It's the same thing. That's it for the extrude face. It's actually, do you know that the solid has faces? A solid has faces. Like a solid has a face, but a surface is not a solid. It's just a face. Do you understand that? So you have to bear that in mind. These are faces. Here is a face, here is a face, here's another face, and you have so many faces in a solid. Now, this is also a face. I can also extrude this face, like so. Let me do something. Okay, so this face like so. Enter and make it 25. No, I don't want taper. Exit. Exit. So you see, you're actually extruding this face. These things I'm doing, this is like a preparation for what is coming actually. When we get to SketchUp, you will use almost all these tools. And SketchUp class will be very, very fast. Like it will be very, very fast because I'm taking my time now to explain all these things and all these principles. So when you're applying it to real life projects, you will actually enjoy it. So you need to understand these basic things. So you can extrude this face. But you cannot extrude this curve. That is it. That's one thing you need to know. You cannot extrude this curve. As you can see, it's a curve. It's not a face. You get. You cannot extrude it. This. You cannot extrude it. Okay, now, of course, you can further extrude this part and create whatever shape you want to create. But I won't go into that. Now, the next one is taper face. Of course, if you have a face like so, you all know what tapering does now. So let's say this is the face. Enter. No, sir. The sphere cannot be extruded because it does not have a face. Okay. So select the base point. This should be my base point. Specify another point. This is the second point. And then angle of extrusion 15. Excuse me. Enter again. Taper face. Let's taper this face. This point. This minus 15. Okay, yeah, that's it now. So trying to make a crazy angle and it's been tapered. I will do that. Hope you're following me. Okay, now let's do it this way. We've done the extrude faces, and now we're going to the taper faces. Now, for you to taper this, select the taper face. Select the face you want to taper. In this case, I want to taper this face. Enter. Now select your base point and the second point, and then impute the taper angle. In this case, I'll do 45. Enter. And then we have it like so. Does anybody understands this? Okay. Now I'll do it again. And like so, enter, specify first point, specify second point, and then 7. Enter. Okay, so that is it for tapering. So we've tapered this face. If you see the way it is. From the base, it looks like this, and then it's tapered as it goes up. So That's it. Okay, you all understood it. Okay, no problem. Let's continue. We're going to the next one, which is move face. Of course, you can move a face. You can copy a face. You can offset a face, and that and that and that and that. You can rotate faces and that. But I won't go into all of it. You can also color faces. So that's just for you to do your basic practice. Cause faces. So that is it for faces. Extract edges. Yeah, this will come in handy if you, let's say you've done this model and you still need the lines there. Did you pay attention? So you've done this and you still need these lines. What you need to do is, okay, go to extract edges and select it. After that, you will notice that, okay, we have two objects. Then we have a line and a 3D solid. So the line is still there. So now if I move away the 3D solid, you see those lines there. Just like what you have when you're doing your isometric drawings. You see that line there and the shape like so. Do you understand? Okay. Wow, wow, wow. I called your name specifically because I knew you were distracted. Okay, now let's go. Okay, now you see? Let me try to move this. Okay, the line is still there. I want the line to go off. Okay, now we have single stuff, I think so. Okay, only this one, the one we use in creating it. So now see what happens. I need to get those lines out of this drawing, or sorry, out of this model, out of this 3D solid. I need to get those lines out, especially these ones here, the edges, yeah? I need to extract the edges. With extract edges tool, you can actually achieve that with ease. So you select the extract edge tool. Okay, okay, okay. If it ends, that means the swim ends, right? Okay. So make sure all the settings are done properly. So if I end it, it ends generally. Okay, now you select the extract edges tool, and then you select the object you want to extract the edges from. In this case, let me do something. Now let me try something that I've not tried in a while. I've not even tried it before. I want to extract the edges of this solid that is complex. Okay, okay, okay. We'll be done in a minute. We're almost done actually. So almost done. After extract edges, the other ones are just straightforward. So just select this and then enter. If you move this, you see that you extracted this. Wow. It's only remaining the circle and this shape. Okay, having done that, let's go over to Imprint. Now, Imprint will help you join a 2D to a 3D model. The Imprint tool or the Imprint command will help you join a 2D to a 3D object. In this case, let me say I want to draw a circle, and I want that circle to be right here in this face. So I select my circle and I draw it like so. No, I don't want it that way. I need to do something. Oh, by the way, before we talk about imprints, I need to cover some other things so we understand what imprints looks like. So for now, cheesy, yes, you are permitted. I just want to do some little practice drawings with people. on how to use what we've already learned. So we're going to be creating some basic home shapes. So I'm deleting all those models. By the way, did you understand anything from this class? If you understand, please use the chat box. If you understand, please use the chat box. Type understood. Okay, okay, okay. Now I'm going to be creating something, and let's start. I was doing some things. Okay, let's just create them new. In this case, I'm going to be creating a stool. Now let me just make a shape. Make a shape like this. This too. Yeah. Make a shape like so. And down and out a little and up a little. Then I'll continue this way. And then I will create something like so. Right here. Okay. I'll create another. Using it here. I'll create another like so. And another right here. Mid between 2 points. Midpoint between these two. I'll make it out a little like so. Now I like let me just do something before I do that. I'll use my 3D and 3-point arc rather. I'll select here, select 1 point, turn off orthogonal, select 1 point, then select this. I repeat same thing. I do same thing. Select another point. I'm gonna select this point. No, it's too big. It's too big. I repeat that. Okay, and then see what I'll do. I'll just copy these guys. This one and this one, and then I mirror it. I just have to mirror it. Like so, turn on orthogonal to make it straight. And we have it like so. No. Let's mirror. Okay, yeah. Now I do another 3 points. Orthogonal restriction, like so, and then like so. Now for the midpoint, I just do my 3-point arc again. 1, 2, 3. For this case, it's looking upward, but I don't mind. We'll reduce it. And then maybe stretch out this point. And delete this one. Stretch out this. So let's say around here. And then repeat that. To make it curve smoothly. Okay, like so. Now I haven't done this. I'm going to take off some parts. If you notice something is not lying straight, and that is this point, like right here. It's supposed to come in straight like this. I'll make that correction, and also here, I'll make that correction here too. Watch me. Now This part. This one was supposed to be at the intersection point. Let's click intersect. Where are you? Intersection, this intersection, like so. Yes. Now I'll need to trim off this point using the trim tool. And trim off this point using the trim tool. Same thing what happened here. And then I'll bring this point down to the intersection point, like so, that end point. Remember, the intersection point is now an end point, and this one also to that end point. So we'll have a look at so nice. Now we want to make a stool from this. First of all, we need to take off unwanted parts and then do a join. Look how I do the join to this, not the center line. J, join it. Now if you move around it, you see it's just a single entity. Okay. Now I will just need to use my revolve tool. Revolve tool. Then select what to revolve. In this case, this geometry. Enter and use this as my revolve axis. And then I type in 360. So if you go over to southwest isometric, and then maybe orbit it around to some point, or just rotate it, do a 3D rotate. Go here, use your 3D rotate tool, and then you rotate it from this axis. Yes, make it 90. You come here to southwest isometric. You have your stool. Look at that. Do you understand this? Is it quite simple? Do you understand it? You have your stool like so. So now you can place something on top, let's say a flower vase and stuff. Yes, it's the revolve tool. So, well, simple. Okay. Wow. Okay. You just said it's simple. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Does any other person understands this? Okay. So, having done that, I will lay it aside. I will lay it aside while I try to also create something using the revolve tool. This time it will be a little bit small, but not that small actually. For that, I think I'll do something. Let me highlight this, extract edge, and also highlight it to take out the edges. Now, see something. You see, these are the edges from this. If I use my, what is it called? If I use my loft tool, I can create something similar to what I just did, but I'm not sure it will be directly, it to be completely the same. So I'll just have to connect these circles together. And it will be similar to what's there. You will find that. So we have this similar to, and I enter cross section only. And we'll have something like this. Just by using the edges extracted from that and then lofting them together. So we have two sides of the same base and top. Meanwhile, the shapes are different. So you see, you can achieve a lot with CAD. Now after lofting it, let me do something. Okay, now let's do something. Let's loft this, 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 this. Now enter. Now you have something like settings. If I click on settings, it will bring up this menu where you can make some adjustments to these things. If you make it ruled, it will be a little bit rigid and straight, like so. So you're seeing the way it is because you made it ruled. So it will be like almost like it will respect all the lines and make them sharp, like so. But you want a smooth fit, so you go this. So you can adjust these settings according to what you want. Normal to, you select normal to, and you can do all cross sections or end cross sections or start cross section or whatever. You can just adjust it to what you want. You understand? Draft angles, you can add that. You see some extra contour stuff there. And what is smooth feel? Close surface or solid. Okay, you need to check this. You see there, periodic, smooth end, and that. Just uncheck it. So now you can see that with the loft tool, you have extra options to adjust your settings. So that is it. Let me do something. Let me just make it start and end cross section. No. Like make an enter. So we have it like so. At the top, you can see from top to bottom. See from top to bottom. Okay, so having done this, I think that will be the end of today's class. So don't make this too lengthy on that. So all our advice is that please practice makes perfect. Always make sure you practice your skill. Always make sure you practice your skill. And make sure you do your task. Jumpo, Namonso, Ididion Celestine. Make sure you do your task. It's very important. It helps you gain mastery. Helps you gain mastery. Okay, I haven't said this. Yes, I know, I've seen yours. I haven't said this. We've come to the end of today's class. Is there any question for me? Does anyone have any question for me? No question. Wow. Okay. Shave what off, please? I don't understand your question, sir. Shave like so. Yes, now you can achieve that separately. Like, okay, we just talked about the intersect, we talked about the subtract and all that. So you can work your way around it if you actually know what you want to do. We talked about subtract. We talked about intersect. Yeah. Hello, John Paul. Did you are you still on this call? There's a question for you. Okay. You want to use your mic? Okay, no problem. You can. Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. I was talking about like this object you just made with the loft command by using edges. Is there any way you can like trim round it so it looks more like that initial tool you made? Is there a way to trim around this circle?
Okay.
To trim around it so it looks similar to it.
Okay. At this point, what you can do is maybe just modify it with other objects and things. But at this point, unless maybe you want to go into mesh editing, it's always advisable if you're trying to achieve something with the loft or the revolve command. It's always advisable to make sure you have your 2D in place correctly before you actually make it a 3D solid. So you don't need to come back and be trimming off all those things. But in scenarios where you need to trim, that's where you make use of some advanced tools like the mesh part of it. You'll be working on meshes and all those kind of things where, yes, so you can work with some of these tools to add some, maybe you want to bulge it, or maybe you want to make it depress some part a little, and stuff like that. So that is it. So you need to work on your 2D object before actually making it 3D to make it nice. If that answers your question, and no other question for me, we've come to the end of today's class. So let's say thank you for attending today's class. Goodbye.